Thank you so much for this generous introduction of mine. And I'm really happy that Khaki is giving me an opportunity to share some of my thoughts with regards to the glimpses of cultural life. In fact, I have added some things um, to my own research, which I have done for two books earlier. Peshwanze Vilasi Jivan, the Marathi book, which was published in 2001. And there were many reprints of this because it became very popular. And then 18th century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas, which was published in 2010 by Aryan Books International, New Delhi. Some of the photographs which are there in this presentation, they are there also in this voluminous book, 18th century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas. And as you will see at every place, I have given the courtesy because I was fortunate in getting the support of the descendant of Nana Fadnis, Mr. Ashok Fadnis, and late Anandrao Raste, Sardar Anandrao Raste, who gave me permission to click the photography, do the photography of Motibag Rastewada in Vai. So Vai and Menauli, these are the two places. Menauli, the estate of Nana Fadnis. So these are the two places from which I have picked up, say, wall painting photographs. I mean, it was really a very good experience to go there personally with two of my students and do the photography of these wall paintings. I don't know in what way they are surviving now because this photography was done in 2000. This particular photograph in the first slide, I is from the painting which is there in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. It shows Nana Saheb Peshwa with two attendants. And as you will be seeing in this photograph, they are wearing the pearl jewelry. Peshwas were quite fond of pearls, and this aspect is going to be unfolded in the coming slides. You will find that there are two deers and these kinds of animals also were specially brought in Pune. So when we talk about the cultural history, we have to see that flora fauna also entered into the city of Pune. And today's Sarasbag and all that. These were formed at that time in a very nascent manner. Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, though we are not going into the political history of the period, I'm just trying to say that Peshwa period in Maharashtra is from 1713 to 1818. You see the title Peshwa for Panta Pradhan was there during Chhatrapati Shivaji's times also. But the importance that the Peshwas got, that was after Shahu came to power in 1708. Shahu, that is the son of Sambhaji, who was actually killed by Aurangzeb. Sambhaji was killed by Aurangzeb, and Sambhaji's wife, Yesubai, and Shahu's young son, they were kept in the custody. But in 1708, after the death of Aurangzeb, Shahu was released into Maharashtra, and then he established his kingdom. Then he gave administrative authority to his prime ministers, that is Peshwas, and that is why this particular period is known as Peshwa period. In 1713, the first Peshwa under Shahu, that is Balaji Vishwanath, was given, one can say, Peshwaichi Vastre in 1713. And then the Peshwa administrative control continued till the downfall of the Marathas, that is in 1818. But in between, Nana Saheb Peshwa, the third Peshwa under Shahu, he shifted the administrative center to Pune in 1750, soon after the death of Shahu, because he wanted that kind of independence so that he could directly communicate with the Maratha Sardars. And from 1750, we have got a new phase as far as culture is concerned. For this presentation and for my research generally, I have relied on number of sources. Historical documents are definitely there. Peshwa Daftar and Peshwa diaries, like Satara Rajas and Peshwa's diaries, it becomes an important source because it has got various yadis, that is the lists of expenditures. And they give you a very interesting information about the kinds of objects which were ordered by the Peshwas and their Sardars from the north when they started having expansion, political expansion in north. Then I have already stated that wall paintings, especially of Motibag Rastewada and Menavli Wada, they become a source. And several objects like jewelry and then gulabdanis, etc. They also become a very important source of information. Interestingly, I would like to state here that Rambhau Pethe of Vamanhari Pethe Jewelers, he helped me a lot in 2000. In 2000, I was granted a UGC project, and that was language and culture history of medieval Maharashtra through Lavani's. Very different kind of a subject I had chosen. And then I went to Pethes, and then I told Rambhau Pethe, the senior most at that time, if he could help me with the ornaments that are listed in the Lavani's. Then he said, yes, definitely, you give me the list and I will see how many we have in their personal collection. And then I was fortunate that he got all those ornaments just for my research, and my student could do the photography of these ornaments. So these ornaments are also figuring in this particular presentation, only some of them. Otherwise, elsewhere, I have given many presentations on jewelry. Then, as was stated in the introduction of the topic, this particular period is very important for the emergence of Lavnis, especially the Shungarik or the erotic Lavnis. There is one particular slide at the end of the presentation which I have made. And interestingly, the Shahirs who composed the Lavnis, it really appears that they were knowing about various, cultural, say, indicators. The words there are the cultural indicators. See, I am seeing some of the questions here in the chat box. Am I supposed to answer them now or at the end?
No, no, no. I will collate all the questions in the end.
Sure, sure. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Thanks. Next, please. I thought it would be better for me to just show what was the extent of the Maratha state. And you can see that this particular portion is indicative of the Maratha state. Gradually, they started expanding also. But of course, this map is in 1805. That is, in 1805, there was the last Peshwa ruling, Peshwa Bajirao II. So by that time, the Peshwas already had established control in some portions of North India as well. Next, please. I thought it is quite hot in the city now. So it is good if I start with the fragrance. There are quite a number of saplings of mango, fruits, especially the watery fruits, then rose saplings, the demands for rose saplings, which were from north as such. So it was very interesting to find that there were quite a few orders for the rose saplings. Like we find that especially from Nana Saheb Peshwas times, we have got continuous orders placed for the roses. And these rose flowers were dispatched from the north. There is one interesting the reference that one Bapurao Shinde was specially appointed to get these rose saplings from the north. And then he was supposed to give orders to the gardeners where uh, they should plant these rose saplings in the city of Pune. One letter in Peshwa Daftar records that Shahu had ordered one gulab sise. Now, this is very interesting. It means a small bottle, glass bottle of rose essence. Now, it appears from the records that in 18th century, in Maharashtra, the technique of making rose essence was not known. This is because I have found some letters written by the Peshwas and their officers to Kanhoji Angre to get the gulab sise. I mean, I have got these, but if in case there are questions, I'll read that particular reference as such. Then, interestingly, these two objects, that is gulabdani and aktardani, also entered into the cultural scenario of Maharashtra at that time. It's also important to know that the Peshwas and the people, generally the people in Maharashtra, did not know how to make gulab pani. That is, gulab danis were brought, but that gulab pani, which was to be made, that technique was not known. So they planted the roses here, but interestingly, they wanted water of Ganga river. And that's why we find series of orders to the northern Sardars, get us budle, means the big jars of gulab pani, the sealed pani of Ganga. And then once when you have got the rose essence in gulab sise, then that used to be mixed in Pune, put in gulabdan, and the actual rose essence to be put in attardani. It's so interesting that these two cultural objects also started figuring in the Haldi Kunku ceremony of the ladies, royal ladies. And after that, even today, the practice continues, as all of us know. Then there are references to vala fans, especially the places like Sironj in north, Kanoj. These places were famous for vala or khas. So there are regular orders placed for the curtains of vala and also vala attar. When we see Satara Rajas and Peshwas diaries, we get also certain letters at that time written by Shahu, that is written by the officer of Shahu to the northern Sardars to get the Kasturi Mrugas. But Kasturi Mrugas as such could not be brought to Maharashtra because they were not habituated to that particular climate. So the pots of Kasturi Mrugas were specially ordered. Next, please. Yeah, these are just some of the paintings which I want to show that even in the paintings we have got gulab dani and other essences. Now here, this particular painting is Royal Ladies Bath. And I have found this in Nana Fadnis Vada, Medavi. Next, please. This is again a kind of representation of two flowers. This is a royal couple in leisure hour. This is from Motibag Rastewada. And one can clearly see in the close-up that the man is holding a rose flower while the lady is having the jasmine. Next, please. Uh, Similarly here, this is again another painting, Raga painting, Gulabdani. And this is from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University Museum. You see, this museum, I am just mentioning it. It has got the collection of Daba Parasnis. Very interesting collection. So I could pick 5 representative paintings from there. And I'm really fortunate in getting the permission from that museum here. This is Rag Hindola, and there again you will find the gulabdanis there. Next, please. Yeah, we come to the pearls. Interestingly, the best quality of pearls are said to be Hormuji moti. That is the moti pearls coming from Hormuz. And how these pearls should be? They should be guladhava, means of the luster of the jaggery liquid. That is, you see, when you are making anything of jaggery, any say sweet of jaggery, then that jaggery pak or the liquid of jaggery, how that is, it is golden in color. So the pearls must have this kind of luster. That was the taste of good quality of pearls. Uh, so I'm just giving here some of the ornaments. The first is bindi with motyacha bhang. That is the middle portion of the head is to be covered with the motyacha bhang, the lines of pearls. Then we have got kaap. There is a Marathi saying, kaap gele bhoka rahili, means when you lose your richness, the ear lobes still have some indications that the lady of the house was wearing at one time the beautiful and rich, costly kaap, the pearl ornament, ear ornament. Then we have got chinsapeti, which is like a choker. And the last one is pohochi, which was worn by the men. This is a bracelet worn by the men. One Lavani of Sagan Bhau has the description of a heroine wearing 32 ornaments. Bindi Sisful. Battis Abharane. Bindi Sisful. It starts with Bindi. Sisful I'm going to show. Then Battis Abharane Avatsala Dravya Gathi. So altogether the Abharanas or ornaments are in 32 in number. Lavani of Prabhakar also has a description of the heroine decked with all the ornaments. Now there is one interesting reference. In Honaji's Lavani, there is one particular line, and it shows the trade of the pearls. Purna Chandra Mukhi Dhala Jasa Bandara Surati Dana. Now he says to the heroine, the hero says to the heroine that your face is like a good quality pearl, which is picked up from Surat. Next, please. Now, here we come to the actual maritime trade route of gems and pearls. Hormuz, hence Hormuji, that is the adjective for moti or pearls. And when these pearls came from Hormuz to Surat, then the same pearl in Honaji's Lavani becomes Surati Dana. And from Surat, see, these pearls used to be offloaded at Surat, and from Surat, then they were sent to Maharashtra. This was the particular root of gems and pearls. Next, please. Yeah. I'm showing now some examples of the ornaments where the flowers are involved. This is the Bakuli Har, and I have given here Bakul flower picture. Each bakul flower of gold was made artistically and then it was put in the chain. See, there are 5 lines of this bakuli har. The side picture is just an enlargement to show how these bakula used to look. Next, please. Yeah, we come to Veni and C school. Now, the Veni on the left hand side is having Kevda. The first is Surya, then Kevda, then Chandra, then it is the solar system. And then on the one hand, you have got Mood and Rakhadi, which used to be put on the head. And then we have got the Gonda for the Veni. Then the next picture is Veni and Seasful. Now this Veni is of the Kunda flowers. On the side of it, I have shown the picture of Kunda flower, which is white in color. But this is the bud of the Kunda flower. So these are the buds of the Kunda flower made in gold. And the middle portion is actually the ceaseful. Ceaseful means cease is shish means head. You can see that there is a peacock and the stomach of the peacock is made of emerald. How rich it looks really. When we saw this, these different kinds of ornaments, which actually are worn by the Pethe women on the wedding day, they are so heavy and very rich. And interestingly, there is a string of gold beads or pearls in the beak of the peacock. You see, there is a kind of saying that a rich house has ladies who feed pearls to the peacock. Motyacha chara. This is the representation of that. Next, please. Yeah. Then we come to Putalayanchi Mal. This is inspired by the Venetian coins. It's so interesting that on the western coast, Venetian merchants used to come for trade. And they used to have their own coins having Zakino or sequin. And the picture of the elected king was there, and that was called Doge. This Doge was shown with a scent of Venice, kneeled and bowing down to Doge. See, this whole coin, quite heavy, and as the weight is given 3.5 grams. And on both the sides of this, there were pictures. The other side, scene of child Jesus amid stars. You see, at the time of Christmas, how you have got, the young Jesus, child Jesus with the stars as such, having the magic wand or something. Like that, there was this kind of picturization. Please remember that during medieval times in India, under Delhi Sultanate, or also under the Mughals, to a large extent, Mughals had issued some coins of different nature, but largely you will find that the coins did not have any kind of picture. It had only the Quran message. So these coins brought by the Venetian merchants were found to be extremely beautiful and of exquisite quality. Some Indian merchants then who had trade relations with these Venetian merchants, they got these coins from them and they started having their own ornaments for their women, one or two like that. Then you see, as this coin was having a statue that is, Puttali, This became known as Putali coins, coins with the statue. Then some people started feeling we can also make like this, not the coins per se, but we can, why should we have a foreign god, that is Jesus? We can have our own goddess. And that's how came the Lakshmi Har. This interesting. So first Putali Har and then Lakshmi Har. Next, please. Then we come to the types of textiles. Immense textile references are there in Peshwa Daftar and records and all, in Yadi, in Lavani's, many. And the names of textiles that we get popularly are Mukesi, Ghazni, Kinkhab, Mehmudi, Chit, Malmal, Zuna, Mashru, and Paithani. I'm giving only descriptions of some. Mukesi, this particular word is derived from Persian word mukes, means of or of gold or silver shine. A type of sari with gold brocade that was called mukesi. Um, I'm just giving here one example of the reference, that is in one letter of 6 December 1734. We have got reference of 10 mukesi in the list of exquisite clothes which were to be brought from the north. Then Ghazni, it was not a sari but a cloth material of half cotton, half silk, having stripes. And these Ghaznis were given gifts on the festive occasions. Like, when there was, say, celebration of Dasra festival or Ganesh Utsav, then the women artists, performers who were brought specially to perform, they were given the Ghaznis. Okay, the cloth, even the male performers for that matter. I'm giving here two examples. Now, for the cloth examples, I'm not giving any, say, courtesy, because they're my own, one can say. This was belonging to my grandmother. This pallu of Banarasi shalu with rich zari border, brocade. Next, please. Then we come to most popular sari, and that is Paithani. And this is from Python. Actually, there could be a separate half session at least on Python. How Python emerged, and then what kinds of designs were there, how their artisans were called, and things like that. The dots, borders, and pallus of Python were of pure gold. There were two special colors that are said to be very popular. They come, the reference comes in Lavani's also, Anjiri Paitani and more with Raghu Maina. I'm giving here these two examples. Anjiri Paitani with Raghu Maina and more Bangani Paitani, that is of peacocks as such. And interestingly, I came across a word called Zuna. I was not knowing this. What is this? Because in one Lavani, the line is Mulayam Sharira Tuze Jaise Bharzari Paithancha Zuna. Then I asked Rambhav Pethi, what does this mean? So he showed me a small sari. See, in those days, there used to be child marriages. And the small girls, saris, were called zunas. And that's how this word is here. See, some of you may be also knowing the very popular song of Tambe, तुझ्या गळा माझ्या गळा, and तुझं पगडी माझं चिरडी. Okay, so chiradi also is a small sari worn by a small girl. Next, please. Now, this is kinkhap, and there are lots of mentions of kinkhap also. In SSRPD, means Satara Raja's Peshwas Diaries, Volume 2, and D.B. Parasnis in Pune in the bygone days specifically mentions that there were curtains of kinkhap. And this he says on the basis of the English ambassadors who visited Savai Madhavrao's court. So there used to be the curtains of Kinkhab, and Kinkhab was brought from Banaras. Next, please. Now we come to the celebration of festivals. Here, I would like all of you to just see the painting very minutely. Uh, the women here, supposedly gopis, are wearing 9-yard saris, and they have got the pitchkaris to splash the color on Krishna, who is at the center. This is from Motibag Wada, uh, Rastewada. Why? Earlier in Maharashtra, before 1793, Holi was celebrated only as a festival of uh, Holika Devi, where there used to be the fire done. But in 1793, it so happened that Mahadaji Shinde, he visited the court of Savai Madhavrao, and as he was in Gwalior, Mahadaji Shinde, he had the estate in Gwalior, he was quite close to the celebration of the Rajputs, these color festivals. So he described at length the color festival of Rajasthan to Savai Madhavrao Peshwa and Nana Fadnis. And they were so fascinated by this description that they gave immediately order that we also should start the color festival in Maharashtra. And that is how we started celebrating the color festival. And there is one mention in a very rare Lavani. Here I would also like to state that Vayan Kelkar, Yana Kelkar, who has done a lot of research on the Lavnis, his son in 2000 gave me the Lavani collection from Vayan Kelkar's collection. So there are certain Lavnis from Shila Press. That is, they are anonymous Lavnis, printed on the Shila Press, that is on the litho press as such. And there is one sentence here, तसे कलीमध्ये रंग खेळले श्रीमंत आणि पाटील बाबा. Patil Baba is indicative of Mahadaji Shinde. Shrimanta is indicative of Savai Madhavrao Peshwa. Shake 1715 Chaitra Madi Samvatsare. So the Shake year is 1715. It corroborates with 1793, the Christian year. There is a very interesting mention in the Lavnis and also in the Yadis as such that the gulab gotes used to be made. You have got the mica, that is abrak, and in the abrak, gulal powder used to be pressed, sealed, and such gulal gotes used to be thrown at each other, and then there was a splash of red color. Okay, next please. Yeah, then we come to the celebration of Ganesh festival. We celebrate Ganesh festival from Ganesh Chaturthi to Ganesh Anant Chaturdashi. This 10 days festival we observe. But during Peshwa times, we have the references that the Ganesh festival was from the first Shuddha Bhadrapad, that is Pratipada. And then it was going for 10 days and till Anant Chaturdashi. Actually, it was for 15 days. Interestingly, I found some documents that there were mirrors and candles along the Ganesh idol specially ordered. We have got one Ganesh Mahal as a dalan, as a big, say, Mahal within Shaniwar Wada. So already they had installed the Ganesh idol. But at the time of Ganeshotsav, they used to also have another small Ganesh idol, which was installed specially for Ganeshotsav. And then there was performance of kirtans and povadas, and there is also mention of bidagis. That is what you say, the amounts given to performing artists. And these included also the kalavantins. These kalavantins were specially brought to perform. And these references we get from especially Savai Madhavrav's time and from Bajirao the second's time as such. Now, I have just said that there were mirrors and candles. You might wonder from where these came. They came from their foreign trade connections. We have the letters written to Kanuji Angre to get the candles and the mirrors. These were the mirrors specially brought from Venice. And these were a part of decoration. So it's very interesting as to how these also entered into the religious scenario of the Peshwas. Next, please. Yeah, then we come to the emergence of Shringarik Lavnis. The most important Shahirs were these. Punaji Bala have given their, say, lifespan also. Then we have got Parshuram, Ramjoshi, Prabhakar, Anant Sandhi, and Sagandhau. But according to Y.M. Kelkar, there were still 125 Shahirs. Along with these 6 Shahirs, about whom we get at least some kind of biographical sketch. From the latter half of the 18th century to 1818, especially, we can say that there emerged a phase of Shungarik Lavnis or erotic Lavnis. Because Savai Madhavrao Peshwa, he encouraged the compositions of erotic nature. And Bajirao II was definitely a person who was interested in erotic lavnis. We have got many references as to how there was one Venkat Narsi who danced for 3 continuous nights and he paid 26,000 rupees to her. And there were also many references to certain kalamantins to whom special vadas were given in Shukravarpet. I don't know whether these vadas still exist, but Shukravarpet was populated especially for accommodating these kalamantins. We have got also the particular name called Bamankhani in Pune. So all these factors, they were responsible for the growth of Shrungarik Lavnis. As it is, we find that the Peshwas, because of their northern expeditions, especially right from Bajirao the first time, that is from 1720 onwards, we have got ample of expeditions to north. We have got also Peshwas' rights to the diamond mines in Malwa and Bundelkhand. So this kind of abundance which was coming to the Peshwa court, the Shahirs were witness to this. Naturally, their compositions also started shining in the whole atmosphere of this particular abundance and the luxurious lifestyle. And then the concept was also enjoyment of women. I have done separate presentations actually on the Lavnis, for some academic audience as such in certain universities and all. Peshwa's patronage to the Shahirs is very obvious because we have got the documentary evidence about the Vidagis given to the Shahirs who specially compose the erotic Lavnis. And there are certain words in the Lavnis which are also which are having double meaning. For example, Unsa Vastra Sola tu Nakaho Mi Gazani Ori. We have seen the Ghazni as a cloth type. Ghazni Kori. The heroine imagines that she is a Kori Ghazni. That is a brand new Ghazni. And definitely this has got a double meaning. Then Gora Deha Otiva Kanchana Kaisi जशी उंच मुकेसी. Unsa here is not tall but rich. Unchi, sari, and mukesi. And I am of I am fair complexioned woman like mukesi. Then तुझा गोजीरवाणा मुखडा जसा किनखापाचा तुकडा. Kinkhap we have already seen. So the hero is enchanted by the beautiful face of the heroine. We have also interesting references to Batta. Now I'll just explain here Batta shortly because we are running short of time. We find that when there were treaty arguments, that is when a particular king lost a battle and the other king then said, you will have to pay this much of war indemnity in coins. Then there used to be sarafs on both the sides to see if these coins, which were given as a war indemnity by the loser to the victor, they used to check it. And they had a sharp instrument which they used to heat and see the coins. They used to sort of scratch the surface of the coin. If the kind of, say, quantity of the coin was not enough, then please remember that at that time, the intrinsic and the face value of the coin was the same. That means if it was 1 rupees coin, 1 rupaya coin, then it was having that particular quantity of silver. If that silver was less, then the loser had to pay more. This additional amount which that particular loser had to pay was called batta. Means it shows that there was some kind of corruption in the coins. You see, from here we have got also in Marathi kulala batta lavani. That means whatever is the reputation of the house, it is corrupted by a particular person, whatever. So, but Padshahi Shikka, that was from the Mughal hone, and the hone of Chhatrapati Shivaji were of the best quality without any kind of bhesal, as it was called. That is, it did not have any kind of other, say, metal mixed in that. They were all pure. So this comes in Lavani also. Honaji's Lavani says, Padshahi Shikka mi binbatta. Means I'm like a Padshahi Shikka, and this particular, I'm like a Padshahi Shikka for which you don't have to give any batta. Then binabट्ट्याची मी नार माझे मन सर्वांची मोकळे. Prabhakar Slavani says this. And the heroine says that I'm without any batta because, and so my mind is open to everybody. Then there is also a reference to this particular saraf that I just now talked about. The sarafs who had got the rights to scratch the coins at the time of the military treaties as such. And these sarafs, please remember, they were called Sulakhe. You remember, some of you that Sulakhe is the surname also. So here there is a line in Honaji's Lavani, Tu putali bin sulak, means there is no scratch. That means you are totally fresh. Agadi nilak, you are lustrous, nilak, and bin sulak. Next, please. Yeah. There is a very interesting reference to Haveli in Shrungarik Lavani. Please remember, Haveli is not the word of the Maharashtrians. The word of the Maharashtrians for abundant and affluent living is Vada. But interestingly, the word Haveli has become popular, especially because of Ramjoshi's Lavani, Sundara Manamadhe Bharali, Haveli Ta Shirali. I have given here the examples, illustrations of the Havelis in Navalgarh, Shekhawati region, Rajasthan, which I personally visited and did some kind of photography of the wall paintings there too. And this is a chowk of the main gate of Podar Haveli. and this is Morarka Haveli. Podar Haveli means, you see, we have got Podar College. It's the same family. So I'm just giving here that these kinds of Haveli examples we find in the wall paintings, especially the wall paintings which we have seen. You might have noticed, some of you, that there is some kind of arch, and within the arch, within the mehrab arch, the particular painting is situated, and this is because of this. Uh, I mean, the Rajasthan Havelis, and we have got references that the Rajasthani artists were specially called. Next, please. Yeah, we have got these Rajasthani artists. They were called Chitaris. They were brought from Jaipur and other places in Rajasthan. Some of the prominent Chitaris, we have got Ragho, Tanaji, and Anup Rao, whose names appear in the documents. Now, the first picture is Shahu on the horseback. Both these pictures I have got, these are the paintings from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. Shahu on horseback happens to be also the front page of my book, the cover page of my book, 18th Century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas. I will just give here one, example of the bird which is there. See, the other picture is of Shahu, and he is enjoying the hunting expedition. There is a bird in his hand. Similar bird we find in the hand of his Sardar in the other painting. Now, these birds are called Huma Pakshi. It's very interesting to note that the Mughals had fascination for Hume Pakshi, falcons, because the falcon, as per Islamic mythology, was the bird coming from the heaven. And if the falcon was kept by the king, then it was a messenger directly from the heaven. And this messenger bird was supposed to give lots of riches, empires, extended empire to the king. Now, as Shahu's formative years were spent in the Mughal custody, we find very clearly that some of the cultural objects that he got, they were because he had seen them in the Mughal court also. Next, please. Yeah, this is my last slide actually, and this is from, I like both these pictures of wall paintings very much. One is the Gaulan. You can see their hairstyles. This is typical Khopa Brahmani hairstyle bunch. And both these paintings are having the women with motyacha bhang. Then the khopas also have got the decorations. Interesting point is that this Ras Leela is played by the gopis who are wearing 9-yard saris. Okay. So we have come to the end of this last slide. Thank you. Thank you so much. I could give at least some glimpses of my research on this. Some of these slides are new, especially the extension of, the aromatic plants and all that, that I did specially for this particular presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
I would appreciate the responses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Varshaji. This was beautiful, and it was such a delight to see your pictures, and also all the backstories of where you've got them from, and also it's really nice to see that you have given due credit. We really appreciate that, because it both tells us the source and keeps your sort of academic integrity. Thank you so much for that. There are some questions, and I'll run through that. It was delightful to see the Pete family's jewels. Now, any way that are they exhibited anywhere, or do they just belong to family and are not shown? Is there a place where we can see some of these Lavani
Actually, you see, what happened was that when I requested the senior most person there, then I uh, asked him whether I should pay something for that. Actually, we had like from my mother-in-law's side, they are far relatives. So also possibly he might have let me in for something. But he said, you do one thing, you please have the postcard size photographs of all the jewelry,
Ah,
and then we will start our own website. They had not even started their website at that time.
okay.
But then I learned that they started getting orders for this heritage jewelry.
Oh, wonderful.
After then they started having these photographs displayed on the website as such. So maybe some of them are still interested. Actually, I did not show all because I mean, this was not just a presentation of the jewelry, but they have got beautiful kambar pattas also. And these kambar pattas are very small because they are according to the child bride.
Oh.
Can't fit a grown up lady
Good.
as such, but very interesting. Then Waki, that is Bazuband, and many things, even Laffa for that matter, which are having the diamonds, pure diamonds
Yeah.
and pearls on.
It's delightful because today you can see some of this jewelry only on weddings, or when a Maharashtrian lady hosts a haldi kumkum in her house and she pulls them out and she wears them. But there's
Yes,
a pleasure to see them. Yeah.
yes.
Jyoti had a question. If you can tell her, that we've already sort of answered. Um, then you shared some paintings that you shared from the Nana Fadniswara. Or how old are these paintings that you're seeing? What is the
Huh. Yeah, this is 18th century. The time frame is 18th century. And Nana Fadnis got this estate of Menavli from Madhavrao Peshwa. Now, Madhavrao Peshwa's tenure is from 1772 to 17, no, before that, 1761 to 70.
wonderful?
And then gradually he started, and he and his other persons also. Nana Fadnis died at the end of 18th century. So
Wonderful.
one can say that in the latter half of the 18th century, these paintings were made.
So it's such a these paintings are so important in terms of tracking some of the
Yes,
of heritage.
yes.
Of course, Vinita has all praises for the art. Now, Vinita wanted to know if there was any difference between the Hormuz pearls, and of course, this was my question as well, and the Basra pearls, because I think Basra
Huh.
is up in that
Yeah.
system.
No, I think it could be possible, though I have not tracked that kind of pearl trade later. But it is possible that gradually the entire Hormuz, that kind of settlement and the trade relations, they got transferred to Basra. It's possible.
And of course, there's a question whether we can still get Basra pearls or Hormuz pearls anywhere. And I think Vinita's answered that you can get them at Ashtikar, but I'm assuming
Yes,
not
yes, yes.
Basra.
Basra pearls, I think they are there in Gadgil, PM Gadgil, and even Pethes for that matter. You can try there also.
They were some of my earliest references for getting the most authentic pearls. I was told that you should go to the Petes. And so the Pete, okay, they have jewelry. Parag, I think your question would have been answered. SK also had a question between Juna and Juna, and I think that's been answered as
Zuna, Zuna,
Juna
Zuna. Huh.
versus the Juna that we say for the old stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and Jyoti has an interesting question. We've seen a lot of this jewelry, but which Peshwa queen was most famous for wearing the best of jewelry? Or was it that the kings were equally famous for, some of the jewelry that you've shown us?
I see, in this connection, I would say that when I was doing that kind of project for which I was given the UGC grant in 2000, 2002, those 2 years, in Peshwa Daftar records, Peshwa Daftar volume number 4 is titled Anandibainchi Dinacharya. Okay, Anandibai was the wife of Raghunath Rao. And in that volume, there are lots of references to jewelry. Okay, and so it's obvious that she was wearing, and the English ambassadors who visited the courts of the Peshwas, they have given beautiful descriptions of Savai Madhavrao, even Nana Fadnis wearing the pearl jewelry.
Okay.
Lots of, and now that the question is asked, I would also like to explain here that there is one very interesting reference that when the northern Sardars like Holkars or Shindes, they used to send their petitions to the Peshwa office. Say, for example, if one particular person passed away and the vastra, the clothes had to be transferred to the other person. Then Nana Fadnis has replied, आम्हाला जांभळ्या एवढ्या मोत्यांची माळ पाठवा. Okay, from there. Zambul, as you know, the berry, Zambul, that we have. So that means these were for the personal use of the Peshwa.
Jyoti also wants to know a little bit more about the use of mirrors and candles for the Ganesh Chaturthi festival, because that sounds really different and interesting.
Yes, that is the very interesting thing. I mean, this point I had also put, and that address of mine is published also in Konkan Itihas Parishad when I was the keynote speaker 4 years back. That when these foreign traders came with the Venetian mirrors, see, near Venice, we have got these manufacturing units. Even they exist even today also. There is a place called Murano. Murano is very famous for glass and stained glass also. Small stained glass articles are also available today, which you can put in your as a pendant in the necklace and all that. So these were brought first to Kanhoji Angre. I could see there was one particular question about Kanhoji Angre, and so actually, politically speaking, Angres and the Peshwas, they did not have very good relations as such. But then they used to write to Kanhoji Angre. I have got some of the letters which I have used for my book also. Because Kanhoji Angre being the postal master, these objects used to come first to him. And if the Peshwas placed orders to him, then he would order further the foreign traders to get them more. That's how the whole thing.
So it sort of balanced their, it was in their favor to keep some sort of a political relationship on. So
yeah, actually, yes.
Diplomacy at its best. So.
Yes.
Jyoti wanted to know a bit about the Bhavankhani, if you can.
About the Bhavankhani. Yeah, actually, see, there are certain women who are mentioned, like Dharmi Pari, Venkat Narsi, I have already stated. And then there are, see, interestingly, I want to now here give little more information about the Lavnis as such. There are two types of Lavnis. One is Khadachi Lavni and the other is Baithakichi Lavni. Baithakichi Lavni is was meant for the rich men, and third symbolizes the tamasha third.
Oh.
Okay. Now for Baithakichi Lavni, which was a kind of tradition or emulation, one can say, of the Kothewalis of North as such. Now, there are lots of references to Raghunath Rao being very fond of keeping his Zanan Khana, especially when he went on tours, expeditions to North before the Battle of Panipat. Then Anandibai also has complained in one of the letters की तिकडच्या स्वारीला ही आता चटक लागली of getting the women and the girls as such. Now these girls, then they were trained into classical singing. We have got also some references to Honaji Bala also, teaching them some of the Lavnis, which were Ragdaricha Lavnia and all that. So Baman Khani developed out of this particular, encouragement to the art as such. Okay. Now, Natak Shala is different. Somebody questioned here. Natak Shala is not the same as Kalavanti. Natak Shala is considered to be a kept mistress. Like, for example, Virubai, one Natak Shala, was considered to be the choicest, the pet, favorite Natak Shala of King Shahu. And they used to keep the Natak Shala. In Peshwanse Vilasi Jivan, and also in my book, 18th century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas, I have got separate chapters on Natak Shala and Kunbins, who were the female slaves, Kunbins. Okay, so that kind of practice also was there during this time.
Vinita admires the hairstyles of the ladies. I think this was the painting of the
Raslila and
The Raslila.
Gavlan, Gavlan. Huh.
Yes. And SK says that the sideway faces are very similar to the Fard paintings because, that was a time that all the folk arts were developing.
Yes, yes.
So, Jyoti says Motiacha Bhang is Mang Tika, and a lot of compliments and a lot of praises for both the talk and for you, and for it being a very uncommon sort of a subject to have the talk on. And Parag asked if any of the Peshwas had multiple wives apart from Mastani of Bajirao I.
What is question? I didn't get.
If
Sorry.
any of the Peshwas had multiple wives apart from Mastani of Bajirao I.
No, that is a very interesting point actually. That maybe Mastani as the kept mistress of Bajirao the First was not acceptable definitely to the inner say layers of relations as such. We have got references to them keeping Natakshalas, but they are not married. They didn't do the second marriage or something.
There was only one queen, but they had all the other.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so, what does Narakshala really mean? Because according to Parag, does it just not mean the school for drama?
Natak Shala. No, 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 no. Natak Shala is the kept mistress.
It's just the kept mistress.
Okay. It's possible that kept mistresses, they were, see, the whole point is that at that time, there used to be child marriages. When a girl, soon after her first menstruation, was sent to her husband's house, she didn't know, the many practices of what marriage means. So there used to be one elder girl sent along with her who would teach her and who was having some kind of training of performance. That's why also the Natak word.
Oh,
All right. And eventually what happened, this Natak Shala became a middle person, became the child bride, and her husband, who was much, say, elder to her. And
worldwide.
so Natak Shala also became a kept mistress of that person also, that man also.
Okay,
I have explained this in my books.
your books.
Somebody asked me the names of my books.
Yes.
One is Peshwanse Vilasi Jeevan, published by Continental Prakashan, Pune. Okay, the last reprint was in 2021. Originally, it was published in 2001. And then 18th century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas, published by Aryan Books International, New Delhi in 2010.
Okay. And Vinita had a question about the presentation. Vinita, this talk will be up on our channel in the next couple of days. So please do subscribe to the channel. You'll find this and all the other talks there. So you can absolutely refer back to the presentation that you've seen today. Um, Amru wants to get your contact. So can we drop your email ID in the chat?
Sure. Yes.
Can
Yes.
someone from Khaki please drop her email ID into the chat here? Meher Mistry says that the Kelkar Museum in Pune also has similar exhibits that you've talked about.
And Meher also, I saw her chat message here that presently Nana Fadnis Wada has become a heritage museum. True. Well, because when I went there second, third time, like, I went there to give a copy of my book to Mr. Ashok Fadnis. That time only that work was going on. And he said, we want to develop it. Unfortunately, Motibag Raste Wada, I'm told, is not in a good condition. But I'm very happy that at least documentation of some wall paintings I could do in my voluminous book, 18th Century Deccan Cultural History of the Peshwas. This is what happens, for heritage. I mean, you require that will also.
Yeah, the will and the resources.
Yes, that is very important. Yes, resources.
But we
Certainly.
hope, with talks like this, we hope that more people will be inspired to support and contribute efforts and, endeavor
Yes.
towards conservation of heritage. Vinita has an interesting point that Titan has a heritage jewelry product range, which used after the Bajirao Mastani movie, used some of the designs from that.
Yes. Yes.
Vidya wants to know how the demand for Indian pearls stood against the Hormuz or the Basra pearls at the time.
Indian pearls. Huh. Uh, okay. In my research, I could see that, there are some letters on festive occasions or on the occasions like weddings and all that. Nizam of Hyderabad sending
Hmm.
the pearls from Hyderabad to Peshwa as such. As a gift to the new bride or something like that. So there must have been the demand like that. But the Peshwas seem to be more fascinated by the Hormuz pearls as such.
Because of their luster.
Luster.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And they do indeed have a beautiful luster.
Yes. Yes.
Naina has a very nice message for you. She says it's a great presentation, ma'am, and many of your students, including her, have also presented on this
Oh,
platform.
Naina is there.
Naina is there.
She's the one who suggested my name to you initially.
Yes, and
Rangoli person.
your
Hello,
students
ma'am.
have presented and here as well. So I think it's a very nice special moment. Thank you for that, Naina.
Okay. So,
So
it's
Vinita says that other museums like Kolhapur, Pune, and Mumbai would have had. Yeah, Menavli Vada has been turned into a heritage museum by the family that Meher has said.
yes.
Um, and Akshara and then Naina has dropped in a link to the book, right, Naina?
Yes, that's her English book.
That's
I don't know if the Marathi book is also there on Amazon. Just search.
Yeah, so the book link is there, and as kindly dropped. Thank you so much. Um, uh, Jyoti has a question about food habits. I know that we are really stretching it, but if you could drop a line or two about their food habits.
Uh-huh. You see, Brahmendra Swami Dhawad Shikar, who was the guru of Balaji Vishwanath,
Uh-huh.
he planted many saplings of mango. He got them from Konkan, and then he started like Alfonso mangoes as such. But interestingly, as we know, Alfonso mango also is a variety not original from India. But they were fascinated. They were quite fascinated by this variety as such. And we have many eatables made out of mangoes. See, there is one culinary history person here in the audience, Mosina Mukadam.
Yes, absolutely. I saw Hosina ji. In
She,
fact, she has also spoken with us in the past, and
Thank you.
So we are a very close circle then, Musina.
Yes, I'm so delighted
She
to
would,
have so many
she
of
would
you here.
Yeah, she was
definitely.
my colleague for 20 years.
And initially also her guide for 2, 3 years.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
So
she's the food expert. So yes, we've already had her talk.
yeah. So of course she would agree with me that even though sabudana, okay, sago, potato, and even green chili, they were brought by the Portuguese. Very soon, the Brahmins started using them for upavas. So that, and then there are quite a few eatables actually, which crept in. And the popular description of a thali was that a Brahmin literally had to leap over the thali to get the laddu from the other end of the thali. And we have many, many references to Brahman Bhojanas. Okay, given. I mean, I have given the charts and the tables also. Uh, in so many years, how much was the expenditure and all.
Pavitra has a question. Which was the center of Maratha power before it moved to Pune?
Satara.
Okay, I think so. That's the end of our questions. It was a beautiful talk, some absolutely pictures that we've not seen before and topics we don't often get to discuss. And well researched information is pure joy. Thank you so much for this talk today, and thank you to everyone who's joined in today and who join us every week. And we'll see you next Saturday again. Thank you very much, all of you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure too. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yes.